Hi guys! It's another really gray day here today, but I've consulted my list of fun vlog ideas and I have one that I think is perfect for today. In a corner! Don't mind the fact that the lighting is terrible. I'm sure it's awful. I haven't even done a test run. Words are really hard today. Sorry if you see me adjusting my glasses a lot. They're really broken. I'm going to get some new ones next week. So hi, I'm in a corner. Why am I in a corner? Because I want to record a Shelfie. That's right. A Shelfie. I've seen people posting pictures, like Shelfie pictures on Instagram. So I thought I'd do a little video of one. You're gonna have to excuse the lighting. Just deal with it. Or hate it and tell me how much you hate it. I'm going to pick out a few titles that I really love. Most of our books are actually packed, except my crafting shelf and one of like 9 history bookshelves. So while Ernest is eating his snack and Claudia is content, I'm going to show you a few of my favorite crafty books. So recording on my bed might have been a terrible idea. First of all, this one is crazy. Yeah, there's no way this is going to work. So this is the current situation. A grumpy girl. Oh, you really? Really? A grumpy girl and story time with Ernest, who also just had a bath. We'll see if I can ever actually record these, but Ernest is gonna read to us some more, so I'll catch you later. Hi guys, it's another day entirely. Stuff got crazy last night, so I'm recording the rest of the video, this portion, on Tuesday. So let's talk about some books. The first book is The Dressmaker's Technique Bible. My mom got me this book. It's awesome. I am not a professional garment sewer by any stretch of the imagination, but this book really outlines a lot of techniques, a lot of different types of seams and finishing touches that you can add on a garment, and really breaks it down in a way that makes it not scary. Besides just giving you like an amazing array of resources on how to pick out patterns, where to measure yourself. Besides all this, it gives you really, really detailed how to chop up a pattern and make it yourself, like make your own thing. And I mentioned on the 10 things you didn't know about me, I mentioned that I took a fashion class over the summer in, I think it was 2009, and I took this book with me, and I felt like I was really on top of things, because first of all, when I got there, I felt like I was really not on top of things, because I didn't exactly have a ton of garment making experience. And with this book, you know, we'd talk about something in class, I'd take some notes, and then in the evening, I took my sewing machine with me to this class. I'd go home, and I'd practice in my dorm on the different techniques we had learned. The number one thing that I love about this book is it taught me how to do flat felled seams after I had had a demonstration in class on how to do it and was totally confused. I came back to the dorm and looked at this book, and it made it very clear to me, not that the teachers were bad, it's just a complicated seam, and I was already kind of overwhelmed with, like, I'm in Chicago and I'm learning things and this is scary. But this book let me, in the quiet of my dorm, kind of hash things out with my seam ripper and my sewing machine. I actually just recommended it to Kait, and she bought it on Amazon for $2, so I know it's still available. Kind of in the same vein, this book was given to me in high school by my art teacher. I love fashion, I love historic fashion, and this book is just amazing. It's got all these fashion plates and articles, recipes, old advertisements from ladies' magazines and like store catalogs to order different things from 1850 through 1920, because it has the date on the top of each page of the year that the articles are coming from. There's not a lot in the 20s, which initially kind of bummed me out because when I was in high school especially, I really loved the roaring 20s and that kind of thing. But I've grown to really, really love looking at all these different things and kind of the political climate of the era too, and how fashion played into what a lady's role was and how things changed throughout the years, because there's articles and the lost arts. Will the coming woman do general housework? A good wife makes a good husband. Some of it's funny, and me as a housewife, obviously, I have lots of thoughts about this, but we won't get into it. This is another crafty book that I've based a lot of fashion study and other illustrations off of, and I just absolutely love this book. And I get lost in it, because I mean, like, look how many articles there are. Alright, another tie-in, a historical book that has a lot of sentimental value to me. So, this book is Sewing Made Easy by Mary Lynch. And it is from 1950. I actually had to look up what the Roman numerals meant. I was like, 19 something. Okay, so this book, it's got this delicious multi-layer cut on the pages that's so... to me it's just so appealing. The pages are kind of yellowed. So when I was growing up, my grandma had a bunch, she still does, a bunch of old books on a bookshelf that we were allowed to play with. And I used to love, especially after I learned to read, I used to love to flip through it. And after I learned to sew and to read, I loved looking through this particular book she had. This very book. As a kid, I was kind of like, it's boring, it's all clothes, that's lame. But there was a small section on sewing toys, which was the thing I was number one most interested in as a child. I love sewing toys. Fast forward probably 10 years from me being a little girl carrying this book around my grandma's house, I was in one of the most bizarre used bookstores that was in my hometown. It's called Toad Hall, which, if you know the story Wind in the Willows at all, it's already a magical place, just to begin with. It's this old house in the ghetto, falling down, and it is full of books. Full. Like, I'm saying fire code hazard. Like, no way to even inventory all the books. And I was shopping around there with my husband, and I walked into a room that was, like, these things weren't even, like, categorized. They were totally random. And I walked into a room, and I saw this binding on a shelf, and I almost peed. I might have peed a little. But I was so excited because this is the exact one my grandma has. And I recognized it, from years of pulling it off a shelf and playing with it. And I was like, I don't care how much it is or whether it even has relevant information or not. I want this binding on my craft room shelf. I want it sticking out and smiling at me. Like, look how cute it is. Maybe it's just my own personal nostalgia. Whatever, it doesn't matter. So I was like, I don't care how much it is. I'm buying it. And it was $5. So I bought it, and recently I've been going through and flipping through it, and it has a lot of great resources. Lots of hand sewing, which I do prefer for some things, lots of embroidery techniques, a lot of very dated information about shopping and picking out fabrics and, what's kind of available to the modern seamstress. A lot of that's changed since the 50s. But it's still fun to look back on, and fun to see their etchings of buttons. I know I keep going back to this one. It's one of my favorite illustrations, though. Enough reminiscing. This one is probably one of my favorite books, just from the nostalgia factor. So, I mentioned I really liked making toys. The Teddy Bear Making Book by Brian and Donna Gibbs. It's not a very old book, obviously, but I was obsessed with making stuffed animals. I was not happy with the patterns I was finding from McCall's or Simplicity. I don't remember where I saw this book. I think I saw it at Barnes & Noble, and then I had my mom help me look it up online, and I ordered it. Oh, look at that sweet face. And I was just re-flipping through it. I haven't looked at it in quite a while, and I was looking at it again, and it's kind of got some dated information in it, like mail ordering special fabrics. I mean, I think this is from the early 2000s. It's not that old. Honestly, teddy bear making hasn't changed too terribly much, so it's not awful. And it starts at the very beginning, the very most basic patterns, and it gets slightly harder, etc., all the way till you're making this guy, a beautiful mohair heirloom jointed teddy bear. So I was actually thinking I'm gonna pull some patterns out of this and make Claudia and Ernest some bears, because I haven't really sewn stuffed animals in forever. So this is another personal favorite. Not necessarily the best teddy bear making book out on the market, but it's a good one if you're starting out and you want something that's going to take you from step 1 all the way to step insane. These guys, aren't they the cutest? Completely different. This book, I don't remember. I think my mom bought a copy of it originally, and since then my aunt, who also crochets, and I have bought our own copies, and I've bought multiple copies for other people. This book, let me tell you, it's like the stitch dictionaries for knitting, you know, knit stitches, cable stitches. This is an amazing crochet stitch guide. I'm not going to show off too much. I mean, these are all probably stitches you can find on the internet, but the way it's written out, it's charted, it's got the multiples for each stitch. They're divided into different types. So there's puffs, there's open work. Can you tell I've looked at this book 1,000 times? Fans and shells, textured. I mean, it's awesome for just deciding you're going to make up your own project and you just want to go. Like, knit stitches, are, you know, knit stitch guides are the same way. But I had this book before I could even knit, and it still is one of my most referenced craft books in my arsenal. She is. Okay. So, making books. How to make books. I was very into paper crafting in my youth. I still am. I really love the idea of being able to make your own books and journals and books and books and books. So this book I purchased at Barnes & Noble, I believe, and it is just straight up fun. Everything from the way things are worded, to the illustrations, to the typography of it. It's just awesome. Highly recommend. Even if you're, like, not interested in making books, it's just fun on your shelf. Like, look at that. Like, it's so fun. It's got fake stitching. You can tell mine is pretty damaged because I've beat it to death, but it's very sturdy. So it's divided into different sections, kind of based on ease and how much sewing you have to do, hand stitching. Here, Ernest is going to dive off the bed. Or try to learn French. Maybe both. So there's all sorts of different levels of difficulty. Like, look at that. It's so fun. They've got like an iron that they put in. I don't know. It's just the way it's laid out. It's just funky and cool. So the book I kind of wanted to show off in place of this one. Like, I love this book, but the one I really wanted to show off in place of it I think is already packed up. It's an origami book. I used to do a lot of origami back in the day too. Different eras of craft, different types. I don't really have any knitting books that I'm showing off. It's kind of weird. But yeah. Those are my 6. Those are my 6 picks for crafty books to show off in my Shelfie. Millionth time is the charm. So if you have any books that you'd like to tell me about that you like in your crafting arsenal, feel free to leave a comment below or find our group on Ravelry, shoot me a message on Instagram. I'd love to know what books you like, because I'm a book junkie. So I hope you have a good rest of your week. If I don't record before the end of the week, I'll see you later. Bye. We are like under the pressure, time limit, words. That's what you get when you get VlogTOBER. Really real, unpolished moments from my insane... And I'm shaky because I'm holding a baby with one arm. Maybe I should have... Section, or the VlogTOBER episode, I can talk.